Hello, my friends, and welcome to another episode of the Revenge of the Party Nerds podcast, coming to you live from an undisclosed location high in the Hollywoodland Hills area of Los Angeles, California. It looks a lot like my living room. And I'm Richard Gabai, along with my pal,
Robert Carradine.
And today we are joined by our dear friend, the iconic Hollywood legend and all-around amazingly high-quality role model of an individual, Ed Begley Jr. Thanks.
Richard, thank you so much. What a great introduction.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And to continue on with that, not to start out with buttering your bread, because I'm not, and I've told this story dozens and dozens of times, and I'm very honored that I can now tell you the story. But years ago, about 20 years ago, we made a film together that I will bring up some clips on later on when we get to that point in your career. But we were working together on that movie. And Hollywood is full of a lot of people, and most of them good. But some of them are at the next level. And you will not remember this. Why would you? But we were on a break, and you had just eaten a cereal bar. And of course, anyone who's alive knows that this man has done more for environmental causes than 1,000 other people put together. But the thing about it is he doesn't just talk it, he walks it. So you had a cereal bar, and you were sitting there, and you were folding it in the most intricate and beautiful way I'd ever seen.
Origami.
You remember. And I said, Ed, so, hey man, this is cool. Are you into origami? And you said, well, really, I don't want this piece of paper to take any more space at the dump than it needs to. I ate this thing and I am going to get it down as small as possible. And I said, this guy, I mean, he doesn't just talk, he walks.
Well, I brought that wrapper with me today.
Yeah.
I've been saving all this time to show
But I mean,
you.
it was amazing. And also, we talked about you had that first electric car. And you taught me, don't just put new tires on a car. Run them, and you can run them. And you really, you've inspired me, and I've shared that, dozens and dozens and dozens of times.
That's very nice, Richard. Thank you. And thank you for having me here.
Thank you.
I'm sorry about the shorts. I should have asked. I thought it was going to be one of those podcasts with a couple of, radio talk show host mics, and then my legs could be under the table. I'm sorry I have to look. Maybe you can crop this out. But
well, I think we're going to
decide that in post-production.
I think people are it's going to be something they talk about.
As long as it's not a lighting issue, we're bouncing too much from my albino skin, too much fill light coming from below from the albino legs.
No, but you're going to bring in viewers.
Oh yeah, with my legs.
Oh yeah, we're going to use those legs to promote the show.
Orville Redenbacher legs. That's what's in these days, I guess.
I guess so. Yes, sir.
I
remember that car.
Do you really?
I remember that car.
You had the first electric car.
Yeah, and
right?
I just heard a thing on the radio that they only made 1,000 of those cars, and that Chevrolet, you couldn't own them.
You could not own them, lease only.
Right, and they finally gathered them all up
and crushed them.
There's a few left.
And I do not have one of the few. The few that are left have the control in the motor taken out, so you can't drive them. But they're like the Peterson Auto Museum and places like that.
Wow, but no motor.
No motor. They took all that out.
God, that's so weird.
Very odd, because it was a great car. They had the better mousetrap, and somehow.
Yeah, and back then.
Back then, in 1996, is when they finally, came out with the GM EV1. Then in 1999, they had another version.
But you just charged it at home. There weren't charging stations, right?
No, there were no charging stations to speak of. There was, like a few. Like there was maybe 2 at the Cabazon Mall there, with that outlet store on the way. If you're going to Palm Springs, you could stop and maybe get yourself a coffee there at the Cabazon Mall or at the Morongo Casino or something.
Yeah.
And you could, do that. But they weren't as convenient as they are today. Now you can drive cross country on every highway, north and south, and smaller highways and bigger highways. There's chargers
everywhere.
All across America.
Yep.
Well, so going back to all of that, there isn't. You go to Wikipedia, you go to IMDb. I don't know if we can find anybody else who has as many credits in quality projects that spans 7 decades. And so it goes all the way back to the 60s.
I'm very lucky to still be working. And in 1968, I was still a cameraman mostly. I did some acting work starting in 67, but I worked with your wonderful father on the short subject called The Token.
Okay.
This guy, Jay Lovins, did this and somehow got your father, I don't know how he talked him into doing it, but it was this short subject kind of a art film that we made with him out at Malibu flying a kite, and he was playing death or something, and had a young girl in it. It was really kind of very 60s. But he was great. He was very funny and erudite, had great stories.
Yeah.
And I went a few times after that working with him. I felt bold enough to go up and say hello to him at the Cock and Bull there on Sunset Boulevard.
His favorite place.
Yeah, he loved it there.
Oh, he did. I remember I went to the Cock and Bull with him one time, and we pull up to the bar, and the bartender says, "Hello, John, what'll it be?" And I know he'd been there like a 1,000 times,
Yeah.
right? And he told him, scotch and water, tall glass, no ice. And I said, "Dad, he's got to know what you drink by now." He says, "Yes, son, but he's a very good bartender because he doesn't pretend to know what I drink. See, if I'm with a young lady, that'll mean I'm a lush."
That's very
Yeah,
good.
so that's why he always asked him what he wanted to drink.
Very clever.
And John Carradine would drink, but he was not a lush. He was one of the greatest of all time.
He was fantastic. Amazing
And so
man.
now, speaking of going back, was your dad a big influence on you for acting?
Couldn't be bigger. He was, my dad was an actor, so that's what I wanted to be. I think if my dad were a plumber, I'd be fitting pipe now. I just wanted to do what he did. But in my ignorance and my innocence, I thought, well, that looks easy. Let me do that. Get me a job on Gunsmoke. I want to be on Wagon Train. Can you get me a gig on Perry Mason? There's my wonderful dad, did all those shows, of course. And so I thought, just get me a series, not just one episode. I wanted to be cast as a
Yes.
series regular right away. Had no idea what was involved, so I went on interviews. Of course, I never got a single day's work. But imagine the son of a plumber. Yeah, I kind of get it. You put the pipe together. Copper's a little different
Right.
than the steel galvanized. I get it. Shut up already. Pipe together. Maybe there's something with some heat involved with a little torch. Whatever. Shut up, Dad. And so I tried to get in. I went on interviews somehow. Imagine, how did I get the interviews? That's what I still do to this day. Don't know why
How
they
you-
did.
oh,
Because I'm
wow.
Ed Begley's son, of course. But
Yeah.
who made the phone call? I didn't know who to call.
You had no agent, right?
I had no agent, so I just went on these interviews, got nothing. Then finally I took some classes and started to learn things as we both did in our young lives. And then we both began to work.
I remember when I was starting out, my brother said, "Listen, I understand that the producer of that last show we did together thought you should get some acting lessons." I said, "Yeah, that's what he thought." He said, "Well, you should go to this guy. He's really good." I said, "Really? I got to go to acting class?" He says, "Well, acting class, when I went to acting class, I didn't go there to learn how to act. I went there to meet actresses. That's why we went to class."
If we're being totally honest, that was my ulterior motive too. I thought I might need to learn, but I definitely wanted to meet some of those ladies I saw coming out of the classes.
I could play flag football and I could play like Little League baseball, but I was not going to make the high school team. So acting and making movies and entertaining was definitely my vehicle to do the exact same thing. But like once you did get working, you were like weren't you like in Disney movies and you were hanging out with Kurt Russell and
That's right. It was very kind of mom and pop stuff at Disney back in the day. They'd wait to beckon Kurt back into a scene after lunch because he'd be out there throwing a baseball with his dad or with somebody on the crew that was good with it. Kurt was a very good baseball player. He could have really done possibly even major leagues, I think.
Wow.
But, great baseball player and a great guy. So I think that's Super Dad right there. Yeah, that is. Bruno Kirby, that's why I really got to know Bruno Kirby well. Wonderful actor, was in Godfather 2 and Donnie Brasco and what
one
have
of
you.
my
actor.
favorites.
Yeah.
And so, but I was starting to work. I was a working actor around that time. I got, to do those shows like Owen Marshall, Counselor at Law, and the FBI, and I did Beretta. I did Columbo. I did a couple of Columbo. Just a working actor, which is a great thing. Not the ups and downs of stardom.
Right.
It's kind of steady. She goes like Ed Begley Sr., 12 Angry Men, Sweet Bird of Youth, for which he won an Oscar. And so I have no pretense about winning an Oscar, but I'm very lucky to still be working after, God, this is now 57 years in the business.
Right, and even more impressive, it does span 7 decades.
That's right.
Says you started.
Where did
in
I
the
go right,
60s.
Richard? Really, that's what I keep thinking every day. Where
Well,
did I go right?
I don't know. Maybe you're tall and good looking.
Thank you
You
for
got
that.
the pedigree.
Lies I love to hear. That part you're right about.
You got the pedigree, and like when you did our film, I mean, you've got a great attitude. Like me and Bobby are talking about this all the time. Like, even though I started in the '80s, well, now it sounds impressive. I've had a career that's lasted 4 decades, and he's been in it for 50 years. If you have the right attitude and you know your lines when you get there, that's kind of a lot of it.
In my ignorance, at first when I went to Screen Actors Guild, I tried to get them to allow me to sign in as James Begley, my middle name. I didn't want to be Ed Begley Jr. Didn't want to have anything to do with my dad. Didn't want to play upon his name. And somebody talked me into said, keep your real name, which is Ed Begley Jr. Your father's son. Don't be ashamed of it. Do it. So I begrudgingly did it. And imagine how stupid I was in not wanting to be part of that legacy. You know,
Right.
There's two things when you're going on a job interview that are going to help you. One is they're going to remember your name. That's A. They're going to remember Ed Begley, Liza Minnelli, Rob Reiner. They're going to right away remember who you are.
Right.
And two, they have something to talk about. I worked with your dad on the Philco Playhouse, and we had a wonderful time together on Sweet Bird of Youth. Top of page 8, Eddie. Good luck, pal.
Yeah.
They're kind of rooting for you.
Yeah.
It's not just another stiff interview.
Right. Well,
So-
the only drawback of that is that if you suck, okay,
There's
you're not
that.
going to get another chance.
That's right.
Yeah, you can't slide by with an anonymity.
Right.
Yeah.
The
Well, I
only-
sucked plenty early on, so I somehow got a pass. Somehow, I learned on the job. I learned on that show, Room 222. I was never a regular, but I did probably 7 shows. So I kind of learned to be comfortable around the camera, and that was kind of good news, bad news. Because then for the next decade after that, I was comfortable in front of the camera, which is not what you want to be all the time. You want to be Joaquin Phoenix, you want to be Meryl Streep, you want to be Daniel Day-Lewis. You go, what the fuck is he thinking about right now?
Yeah.
What's going to happen next?
Yeah.
Holy shit, what
Yeah.
happened to this woman,
Yeah.
Sophie, and Sophie's Choice? Something happened this day, I don't know what the fuck it is. And sorry, no bad language.
No,
Oh,
it's
you
fine.
can say fuck.
It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's fine. But the only one who I think it worked to not go with the family name was Nicolas Cage. But somehow he made a point of letting everybody know
That he was a Coppola.
that he was a Coppola.
Yeah.
So somehow we always knew that he was a Coppola, but he was Nicolas
That's
Cage.
good point.
So I'm not harvesting on the name. It's just I am a Coppola, but I'm Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very interesting catch.
I learned
there, right?
to embrace it, and it's a good thing. You need to get a job. I didn't know the term Nepo baby back then, of course. We didn't use that term, but I just went, my dad was famous, maybe it's going to help me a little bit. And of course it did. Then eventually my acting skills got a little bit better, and I started to work a lot.
Well, you know who it didn't help was Nancy Sinatra.
She
Those
had some
boots
hits.
were not made for acting, were they?
They weren't made for acting, but she
They
had
were-
some hits. Most people have 0 hits. If she wasn't Frank Sinatra's daughter,
She wouldn't have gotten the shot.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Are you ready, Boots?
Great bass line on that. Boom, 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 boom.
And that famous woman bass player.
Yes, I was
From
just
the
going to say that. I
Wrecking
wasn't sure if
Crew.
you knew that from the Wrecking
It was.
Crew. See this movie, this
Yeah, her.
documentary, The Wrecking
Yes.
Crew. Have
Yes.
you seen it?
Yes.
Yes. And
It's
I,
so damn good.
The Wrecking
Glenn
Crew.
Campbell and this woman whose name we've both forgotten, a great bass player.
right.
And just great sidemen, like, oh God, Bernard Purdy, I think, on the drums, and Steve Gadd, kind of great drummers, great horn players.
Buddy Rich.
Buddy Rich, for God's
Yep.
sake.
Buddy
you're
Rich.
Right.
Yep.
Great drummers, great guitar players. Glenn Campbell was part of that. I can't remember all the great players they had, but they did all that great studio work for all those hits we loved.
Absolutely. And that is a great documentary. There's a few of them. Other than in retrospectively seeing you in shows that I watch like crazy still, like Columbo. Carol Kay, correct.
Very
Carol
good.
Kay.
Carol Kay.
And
Right,
she came
and
up
I-
and said, how about this? You want to see if they like this in the booth? Doom, 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 doom.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that
let's do
becomes
that
the whole
again.
song. And she did the same thing on several other hits. And I had as long as we're going retro for a minute, I had the great pleasure. There was a jazz club in North Hollywood, which I can't remember what it was called. And Jack Sheldon was performing. And Carol Kay was the bass player. And I had not yet, this was a long time ago. I didn't really know who she was. I kind of knew who Jack Sheldon was because he was the funny guy that my dad used to watch, Merv Griffin. He was his sidekick. And he just told filthy jokes, played some great trumpet. And then I later learned, wow, that night I saw her play in person. And what did
At
she...
what club? What was the club?
I forgot the name of it.
Where was it?
In North Hollywood, on like Victory, in a shady part of town. And it was there for like 10 or 15 years. We used to go...
Not the Palomino.
No, not the Palomino. It was strictly a jazz club. It was strictly...
Oh, there was Dante's and the Baked Potato.
No, the Baked Potato's still going.
That's on Coinga, yeah.
Yeah, the Baked Potato, one of my
Dante's was
favorite
on
bands,
Lancashire.
plays at the Baked Potato, Jack Shit. It's a great band.
Oh yeah. Jack shit.
Yeah,
But for
I've
me,
heard that.
in my regular consciousness, I first became aware of you, dun dun dun, on St. Elsewhere.
Great job. You get a job like that, you got to do a lot to fuck that up. If you're on a show like that, you're like guaranteed work for life. I mean that. I mean, it may be dinner theater somewhere, but you're going to work for the rest of your life somehow as an actor.
Right,
Hill Street Blues, St. Elsewhere, ER, show like that.
right.
The luckiest thing that ever happened was getting a job on that show. My career was fine before that, but it became pretty easy to get work after that.
And so did that one come to you, or was it like a...
It just came to me, and here's the most important part of that interview process. I went and read for the part of Dr. Peter White in the show St. Elsewhere. There was a hit years ago. People of a certain age will remember it. But I didn't get the part. The part of Peter White, I did not get it. They threw me a bone, gave me this little tiny part. The part of Peter White got killed off in the second episode. Shot in the groin and then in the stomach because he turned out to be the hospital rapist. The part that I was given, which was a 2-line part, a nothing part, became one of the major characters in the show, Dr. Victor Ehrlich. So I didn't get what I wanted, and nothing could have come out better than that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I'm curious, since I always say I'm very grateful I've continued to work in a career that has spanned 40 decades, but I've never been like on a hit show or had a huge hit movie. So, I mean, you grew up in a kind of famous family with a famous dad, but to like a guy like me who's, you know, still basically a kid at that time, like that's when I found out who you were. So like for you, did that change your daily life just going around, or were you already kind of, because I mean, anywhere you go now, obviously you get recognized, but was that the show that did it? Did that change your
It started, I got a bit of recognition when that show Mary Hartman was popular in the mid-'70s. Go places, and people really, a certain demographic watched that show. You know, the white wine spritzer crowd, the BMW crowd, they loved that show. People, and some regular, normal Americans enjoyed it too. The Norman Lear show, there was kind of a satirical show about soap operas with Louise Lasser and Mary Kay Place, the brilliant actress Mary Kay Place. And Dabney Coleman really started to get known because of that show, Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman had a bit of fame, but then things got really better in every way after St. Elsewhere.
Right, and funny, Mary Hartman, like I remember, like that was a show my parents watched, but I watched St. Elsewhere.
See, I watched St. Elsewhere too.
God bless you guys, you kept me
man.
working.
Shit, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So good to see you, Ed.
Good to see you, Bobby. You're looking good.
Thank you, man. You are too.
I'm feeling pretty good for a guy 75. I never thought I'd live to be 75.
Oh man, I'm going for 100.
You can do it.
I can do it.
You're in good shape.
Well, we'll see about that.
Your hair, Bobby, always impresses me, and it, you know.
You know what my brother Keith said about my hair?
What?
He said, if I had your hair, I'd be a movie star. I said, if you had my hair, you might have my teeth.
I have beautiful waving hair. It's waving goodbye.
You're doing pretty
You
good.
know, I was trying to remember the name of the movie I saw, and I'll never do it. I don't even think you will, but it was like a family type movie, but everything was kind of distraught and uptight, and people were like on edge.
Meet the Applegates, was it that one or?
I don't know, but there was a dinner table scene, and you were the dad in this movie, and you were so good. And I pointed that out to you shortly thereafter, and you're like, oh, well, thank you, Bobby. That's it. That's the story.
That's very nice of you. Jesus Christ, I wish I could remember which one it is.
You know, me too, man, because you killed it.
I love you for
The
that.
thing I love about Ed is he's so real. When he acts,
You
he's
too.
totally real.
Always.
Yeah, this guy's real too when he acts.
Yes, he
So
is.
so going back to the selfish part of the interview, because the next thing I just want all the mockumentaries, the Christopher Guest stuff.
Oh,
How
Talk
did
about
that
a lucky
start?
day.
And as long as you want to vamp on that, I want to hear it. So the first one was
Spinal Tap. That was the
Spinal
first
Tap.
one I'm in. I don't have any lines, but I play the drummer in that.
right. You just you're in it.
Geeky drummer, I'm in that.
But you're the exploding drummer, right?
I die in a bizarre gardening accident, actually. Another
okay.
guy explodes.
The other guy explodes. Okay.
Right. But I was in that. Then Chris, after that, did Waiting for Guffman, which I was not in, but had no hard feelings whatsoever because it was such a good movie. And you know, your friends can't give you every job. You can't have all your friends in all.
Yeah,
every
Bobby, will
movie.
you listen to him? Don't every time.
Don't keep looking to you for work. Okay, got it.
So he did that. It was great. Then I got a call. He wants to have lunch with me after Guffman came out. It was a big success. I said, absolutely. I figured it was just lunch. He said, there's a desk clerk in this thing I'm going to do called Best in Show about dog shows, and you'll be the manager of the hotel. Any interest? I tried to keep my heartbeat to a minimum and
That's another.
catch my breath.
That is another top. Okay, I don't want to get too crazy, but that's a top 20 movie for me.
Oh, me
Yeah,
too.
me
Best in
too.
Show.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's really good.
irrespective of me being in it. Just take me out of it even. I just love that film.
But it wouldn't have been the same movie. I mean, that's the talent of being a filmmaker. It's you know, it's like I always say, like, you know, okay, the script for sure, but then like the locations have to be right, and you have to get the right actors.
Yeah.
You have to have the right actors that creates that magic.
He does that every time.
Also, whimsical, spontaneous, and automatic. Is that what it was like on set?
Yeah. You know, you're there with Catherine O'Hara and Eugene Levy. That was my first scene, a scene at the desk with them. And so my only job before they roll the cameras, I thought all I got to do is just not mess up. You know, just got to try to be still and silent and just listen to them, and not to fall in the trap of like the desk clerk guy that's kind of, I'm sorry, your card was declined, you know, and that kind of thing. I mean, that's stylish and funny. That could be funny too in a different way.
Right.
I wanted to be like a guy that the way it would happen most of the time, a man or woman behind the desk would go, well, maybe the strip is bad. Let's try it again. You know, let me call in and see. Maybe they got a digit wrong. Pretending it's not happening. If the person's card is over limit, it's not going to work. Trying to make it easy on them, not make them feel bad. So there was that, and then you got Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara, and so I had to just be like Easter Island. When they're doing all the stuff that they're doing, my job is to be like, you know, a statue and just kind of let them go on for as long as they want, then respond and try to get them a room key or something.
So was it the type of style where you rehearsed it, or did you just kind of do it? Were there a bunch of takes, or was it just...
The way Chris works, you rehearse first, you meet with them and get an idea about the character, he gives you the lowdown. There's a 25-page treatment. You're expected to read that, of course, and abide by it.
Yeah, this is what I wanted to hear.
And everybody does. So the 25-page treatment, perfect example. The scene with Eugene and Catherine, Jerry and Cookie Fleck, that's the characters' names, try to check in the hotel, the credit card doesn't work. Period. End of sentence. That's it. So they come up and they say what they're going to say, and I say what I'm going to say. Then you rehearse it, usually just once. You rarely rehearse it twice, unless there's something that you got to restage it because the light is wrong and there's traffic in the background. That's the problem. But you do it, then you go get in the hair and makeup and come back and do it. It's rare that goes beyond 3 takes. 2 takes is normal. Occasionally 1 take, but rarely. Chris likes to have some choices. But what he does, then his mastery comes into play. His genius really comes forward. That first thing that you start with, don't start with that. Move that to the 3rd bit. Make that 3rd bit second, and do the thing you're doing at the end, do that at the very top. Okay, you got that? Yeah, my brain worked very well back then.
Right.
And so I said, sure, I'll do it that way. You know, began with the other thing. He moves the order of things around. Don't do that. Like occasionally I would come, this was not on set, it was like when the crew and cast and crew were having lunch, I'd come in for wardrobe. I thought, this is a great idea. There's a PBS producer that I knew that, and that's what I'm playing in A Mighty Wind. I'm playing this PBS producer. I thought this would be a very real kind of a thing this guy did. He always kept his glasses kind of like this, except when he needed to read them. Yeah, let me look at that document, the script. Yeah, I got that, okay. I thought, what do you think, Chris? Do you think that'd be good for this character? He said, that's a great idea. That's fantastic for the Carrot Top movie. For this movie, please don't do that. In fact, don't ever show me that again. So
We'll be back right after this.
Chris is very straightforward about such things. He doesn't mince words. He's very honest and real with everybody.
Well, he knows what he wants, and he obviously knows how to get it.
Yeah. I'd rather have honest, oh my God, how wonderful, how great. Oh God, I hate that. Now how do I tell him? I'll have to cut it out. I'll have to edit in a weird way because of this stupid thing of how do we fix this when the guy's got glasses the whole time and that. We'll have to reshoot. No, Chris is very clear and direct and very skilled in his choices.
Cool. So, and then going back to sort of how I started the show with all of your environmental stuff that you've been pioneering and championing. I don't know if you still do it, but when we lived on that side of the valley, we used to when my kids were small, we would go to that little Studio City farmers market.
Oh, sure.
Where you would often be with your cleaning products.
Exactly.
And another thing that I admired, we would take my kids to the pony ride, and I would say, that's Ed Begley Jr. He's a very famous actor, and he's a very, virtuous, actually, man that walks the walk, doesn't just talk the talk. And we went by a couple times, but you were always being mobbed. Are you still doing that, or are those products still happening?
I stopped that a good many years ago. I
Yeah.
think 2007 even. It's that far back that I stopped doing it.
Yeah, because we've been living on this side of the valley for a long time.
Yeah, it was great when I had the time. Then I just got very busy. I had some time 2004, 5, and 6. Then 2007, I had this reality show with my wife Rochelle, And we just got crazy busy with that, with green product endorsements and speaking engagements and filming this reality show. It was fun. We did that for, 3 years.
And so you feel like, as a community, we're making some progress?
Let's say that again.
You feel like as a community, we're making some progress? Less
We are.
toxins?
That's the thing to remember. Yeah, that's with the old product, Begley's Best. I have a new product called Begley's Earth Responsible Products, with a little different label, but that's exact. I can't believe you found that. That's great. But we are making some progress, and that's so important to remember that, because you get hung up in the bad news. Coral reefs are dying. The frogs are dying. Other amphibians are losing them. All these problems that we have, climate change, flooding, wildfires, all true. But also, we have 4 times the cars in LA since 1970 when I started with the first Earth Day. Millions more people, but a fraction of the smog.
Right.
Think about
100%.
that for a second.
Yeah,
4
exactly.
times the cars, millions more people, the smog. You couldn't see those hills across there.
You could not.
I
No.
remember
The Simi
that.
Hills, forget about it. Give
Right.
up. The Verdugo Hills from where I live in Studio City, you
No
never
way,
see
right?
the Verdugo Hills.
Yeah.
The Santa Monica Mountains, if you were there, like at Victory or anything like that, you'd have to be down on Ventura Boulevard to see the Santa Monica Mountains. You couldn't
Yeah.
see them.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was kind of cool when they were making Camaros on Van Nuys Boulevard, and there were tire factories everywhere. But I grew up in Chatsworth, and asthmatic, and I used to, in the summer, my lungs, I would feel pain when I inhaled.
It hurt, it seared your lungs.
You'd look across the valley, and it would just be brown.
Yep.
And now, and when it was be a nice day, my dad, of blessed memory, would say, "Rich, it's a Chamber of Commerce day. Look across the valley." But that was like twice a year. Like now, we're blessed to live up here in the hills now, but we look across the valley almost every day, and it's crystal clear.
Everything we hoped would work did work. Cleaner cars, catalytic converters and stuff like that. Cleaner power plants, cleaner everything that we did, controlling those VOCs from like spray paint, booths and stuff. They used
Right.
to just let those VOCs go up in the LA atmosphere, and it creates smog and ozone and PM 2.5 and dirty buses, dirty trucks, dirty everything. And now finally things get cleaner and cleaner every year.
And in fact, about coral reefs, I just saw something recently in Australia at the Great Barrier Reef. There's this huge area that they have now seen is coming back.
Yeah, there's
So
some recovery in
There's
some coral
some
reefs.
good recovery in that.
Yeah.
And I did have, this is a film show, so I'll tell you something interesting about environmental stuff, neither right or wrong, which is kind of, my early movies, they're all on film. And they were being stored at Photochem, which is a big lab. We used
Sure,
it
I
a bunch
know
of stuff,
Photochem.
and we used it there. And so whenever I was working for somebody else, I would say to the lab rep, like when I was like producing or whatever, and I'd say, hey, would you clean my print? Because you want to get your film print cleaned every now and then.
Yeah.
And this is one thing where I talked to them and they actually got it back, is what they used to clean film prints became illegal in California.
Oh.
So they were shipping the film prints to Arizona and then shipping them back. I said, no, we're beating ourselves up here. We're creating more
Energy wasted.
yeah, like, so you're going to ship them there. I said, don't ship them. They don't need to be cleaned. I was only doing it because they would do it for me as a favor if I was on another show. But they actually got it back, and they now can clean film prints in California again. But that was just funny that I just got reminded of that.
Ozone depletion, had a big problem with that. They banned CFCs, you don't use them anymore for refrigerators and air conditioners and to make foam packaging. And the ozone hole got smaller. There's been great recovery in that. We've done some good things that have worked. We have to keep our eye on the ball and do more of them.
Absolutely. We need more guys like you.
And you.
I know. I do.
Us, like us.
That's
well,
right.
Like you.
I do. I do what I do, but I don't do what you do. And
You do what you can. Not
we do what
everybody
we
can
can.
do everything. You
Yeah.
do the best you can. If everybody did the best they could and really did that, really the best they could, we'd be fine. We'd be out of this a lot sooner than we think.
For sure. And so it was an interesting thing, the film we made together, Scout's Honor, until like 3 months ago, it was in a vault. There was some legal stuff, and I don't want to get into whatever it was, but I recovered a master, and actually, it's going to finally come out streaming next year.
Fantastic. I'll look for it.
So yeah, Max, do we have that clip? Yeah, that'd be great. Just because you probably haven't seen it. I haven't even seen this yet because my daughter just is the one that helped digitize it. To make the long story short, I was working for a company. The company disappeared. Then I knew there were investors, and it was us kind of sitting there. Then I got some calls, and I was able to find the people that put up the money and get the permission so that everyone's going to be taken care of. And we just now found, and we digitized this, and check this out. Go ahead.
Billy Travers from the camp.
Right.
Did you get the candy bars?
Yeah, we did. There's a little problem though, up with candy bars.
Oh, well, actually, that's why I stopped by. I was hoping we could talk for a few minutes.
Sure, come in.
Cool. Hey, Ed, I didn't know you were going to wear the same shirt.
Exactly. This proves I'm like Jughead
Yeah.
from that comic book. I wear the same thing every day.
Yeah, but it was a fun little film. We shot out there in Griffith Park.
I can guess that things didn't go so well when he was there.
Well, sometimes kids Eddie's age can become the target of bigger kids, and, well, nobody likes to be bullied, and I'm afraid that Eddie might have had that problem.
Yep.
Is that it? He would,
But anyway, though, the long and short,
fantastic.
it was fun, and I got to work with two icons of television. We missed Cindy because we lost her a
I
few
love her
years
so
ago.
much. I've been in touch with her kids. Her kids are wonderful, and I'm so glad.
And she was such a sweetheart,
them.
me and Bobby keep saying this, and as I told you, I kind of started out my career kind of idolizing Bobby and Revenge of the Nerds, and then when I was a little kid, I was at a movie theater and I saw the Cowboys with my brother, and here we're
Right.
friends, and getting that, when we made that movie, and I was there, I was calling my mom and my dad. I'm looking with Ed Begley Jr. and Cindy Williams, people I watched on television, and now here we are. I'm glad the movie's going to finally come out because it's a sweet little movie.
I want to see it. That's
Cool.
great.
Well, when I get a link on it, I'll just send you a link to it.
Please do.
Yeah, but we literally, as this was coming together, the movie kind of came back together, and I got permission to release it. And if it makes any money, though, I'll figure out the payroll company. You'll have to get your SAG residuals.
Oh, don't worry about that. We just
Oh.
want to see it.
Yeah, well, my dad told me you're not supposed to count. I always bring up my father a lot because my dad was a huge influence on me, as yours was. My dad wasn't in the movie business, but he loved it. But he said, you don't count the other guy's money. So if any money comes in, we got to send it out the way we're supposed to.
Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Send the money out
Hey,
to
you played the
who's
judge
supposed
the
in that.
mailbox
Yeah.
money,
You
right?
played the
Mailbox
judge
money.
in that TV movie that I
That's
made.
right,
And you
I
got
did.
the residual because we paid it.
That's right. I got
Speaking
the
of,
residual.
that's kind of personal, Ed, but there might not be anybody in this business that could potentially have more mailbox money than you. You've been on every show in the world.
I've done a lot of shows.
Look at all of these shows. Is there some stuff that, after the Christopher Guest stuff, you did so many, you've done so many shows. Is there anything else that stands out for you as memorable, or
Better Call Saul is a great
Better
show.
Call Saul?
I love that show.
Yeah, the boys and the crew. We're
Thank
gonna,
you. 6 Feet Under. Anybody like 6 Feet Under?
6 Feet Under.
Yeah, 6
Absolutely.
Feet
Good
Under.
episode of that. Another good show. A more recent show, a wonderful family show, Young Sheldon. I really like working on that
Yes.
show.
Yeah.
Pretty
So, all
great.
right. We need. I just didn't know how much of your time we're allowed to steal, but let's go back to Better Call Saul. And how did that? At that point in your career, did everything just sort of come to you, or they're like, "Hey Ed, do you want to do this?" Or,
Here's an interesting story about that. I got a phone call from the agent. Vince Gilligan is doing a show after Breaking Bad, and there's a part that you'd be right for of the brother, Jimmy McGill's brother. I said, fantastic, great. And I went, and they give you a scene to read that's not, as it turns out, I later learned, was never planned to be in the series. It was for something else, because he's very protective of the material, so people don't know ahead of time what's happening with his shows and spoil the surprise. So I read this scene, and I thought it went very well, and it did. Vince Gilligan calls me up and said, "You've given me a real problem." I worked with Michael McKean years ago on X-Files, and he's a wonderful actor. I said, he's one of my best friends. I don't know if you know that. So this gets hard for everybody. You're so damn good. I was hoping to just give it to Michael McKean, but I got to really think about things now. And he, of course, did just that. Gave it to him, as he should have, because he was, if you saw the show, he was fantastic in it.
Right.
And so he gave him that part, and I got to call up Michael McKean. I said, I made one mistake when I read for the damn show, the Vince Gilligan show, and he knew I was up for it too. We always, good, I'm glad you got that one, Ed, and I'm glad you got that one, Michael.
Right.
I said, I made one mistake when I went in the casting office. And he said, what's that? I said, when I left, I said, may the best man win. And God damn it, he did, you bastard. I somehow had gotten the call from the agent beforehand. I was giving Michael McKean the information that he had gotten the part, and he was fantastic in it. I couldn't have done it as good. I really, forget about better, different, I wouldn't have been as good. He was just great.
Wow.
And then here's where the story gets even better. Vince Gilligan then says to me, but then I'm going to find another part for you and a good part in the show. You are then guaranteed to never ever hear from that producer or writer again when they say something. And I got another part for you. I feel uncomfortable around this guy. I didn't give him the part. Yeah, I got it. There'll be something else for you. I'll give you, I swear.
Hey,
Yeah.
we've all heard that.
Crickets.
With him, it
Oh,
worked.
yeah.
You'll never hear from them again.
Never again.
Except with Vince Gilligan.
Really?
He's the nicest guy. The bigger they are, the nicer they are. He's like nobody else. Just an amazing guy. I hope you have the pleasure of working with him one day. Both
Me
of you.
too.
He's
Me
just
too.
amazing.
Me
He's
too.
that talented and that nice. Just,
That real.
yeah, amazing.
But how about Curb Your Enthusiasm?
Fantastic show. I'm sorry I didn't say that right away.
No, but we
Larry
uh,
David, genius.
we want to hear as many of these vignettes as we get, because I mean, to be able to chance to sit and hang out and talk. So, I mean, talk about an iconic show, and what's the vibe on that deal, and how?
It's more, people think it's all improv. And what my experience with the episodes that I did, and I did two, there was some improv, but there was some scripted stuff. Half of it or more was scripted, and it was very good. You know, it's Larry David himself writing it, or other people, his writing partners,
Right.
write it with him, I believe. But boy, it's funny stuff. And Larry is just the king of comedy. You know, he's so great.
It just seems like if you're on a set like that, you're just falling all over each other all the time, laughing, and trying to keep.
It's hard to keep it straight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had my work cut out for me over the years working with these people. Working with Jim Carrey on Batman Forever. He was so damn funny in that. Very
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Thanks for bringing that up. So, yeah, so from humbling yourself and helping out a producer like me on a real small little family film to Batman with Jim Carrey. So, like as an actor, how do you feel going to each set? Is it
You just feel great. You get to work with people like that. I worked with Jim Carrey, I worked with Jack Nicholson, Meryl Streep, Bob Hoskins, Michael Caine, John Lithgow. Just worked with amazing people. I don't know how I got so lucky, but I somehow have a great deal of good fortune in the acting department.
right? And you also, I can tell just from how you came to our show and by the way, the three of us are in the same film.
Ed and I are in the same scene.
Oh yeah, and
That's right.
And Ben Sullenberger's soon-to-be classic Killer Cowboy.
What a nice guy. I love
Cowboy
Ben.
Killer.
Great guy.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
right now helping my daughter out. My daughter Hayden is in front of his cameras right now doing an audition for a movie, an independent film.
There you go. Yeah, Ben. I think
Benson-
I don't know how you met him, but I met him. It was Bobby and I have the same agent, and Greg said to me, he says, Bobby's auditions they're looking really good the way they get lit, and so I started using Ben to tape my auditions, and now we're all like best buddies, and we're all in this movie. And the scene, the day I worked, Ben had
Ronnie Schnell?
no,
Schnell?
I'm dropping and he was also the sheriff in my
Peter Jason?
Peter Jason.
Yeah.
and,
Peter Jason.
Oh my
I
God, he's
love
been in
him.
every movie there
Known him
is.
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great guy he is. I got to call him. I'm glad we brought his name up. I got to
Yeah,
say
Peter
hi.
was great. Peter was in my film American Black Beauty. We were just talking to, I don't know if you know Daniel Roebuck. The actor Daniel Roebuck. He was in a few of my films, and we're pals. And yeah, we did this film American Black Beauty, and Peter, that's when I met Peter Jason. And then when Ben said, "Hey, you want to come do this day's work?" There's like 3 scenes in one day, and one of the actors was Peter Jason. It'd be great to see him again. And even though Bobby was going to be in the scene with me, I still wanted to do it.
Well, there was a time that Peter Jason had this convertible Coupe de Ville Cadillac from 1970, and Peter, my brother David, and I were riding around in this Cadillac, and Peter says, "I got to stop for gas." And I said to him, "Well, I bet you got to fill this thing up all the time." And David says, "Bobby, don't worry about it. The quicker we use this shit up, the quicker we get to do stuff."
That's funny.
That went over.
I was looking at notes. I don't want to miss asking Ed about so many of these things. But what do you think now? Aside from just being humble, because you are humble, what do you think? What do you
Have
credit?
you seen
with
my
your,
work? I got a lot to be humble about.
No. I don't want to say, have you seen mine? Because I'm scared you go look at it, and if we ever want to get together again, you won't want to.
I do want to watch it.
But what do you credit? You think your longevity and just your whole career? It's not just luck. You know, it's not just luck.
We'll speak briefly. I've alluded to it earlier, but I got comfortable in front of the camera finally on this show, Room 222, because it was the same crew, same actors, and I did 7 episodes of recurring, and I kind of got comfortable around. I wasn't like, oh God, the camera's dolling around, getting that lens is close, and you kind of, that early actor pounding of the chest kind of. Now, pretty soon after that show, they'd be zooming around. I didn't care. They could go wherever they wanted. It was fine. I didn't. So that's great. So I was relaxed in front of the camera. And as I said, spent the next decade being relaxed in front of the camera, which is boring as shit to watch. You don't want to be relaxed in front of the camera. You can be trying to act relaxed when there's something trying to bubble out. There's something trying, you're trying to keep the lid on the pot, but what the fuck is happening? Oh shit, where is she? Where is he coming? Look at any movie that Joaquin Phoenix has done. Just look and you go, what the hell is going on with this guy in The Master? In The Master, just pick that one thing. Who is this guy? I think I met this guy, and what the hell happened to this guy to make him like that? Or Meryl Streep in anything, or Daniel Day-Lewis in anything. There's always Elizabeth Moss. There's close-ups in Handmaid's Tale. What? Another close-up in which she's brilliant. She's doing something totally different. It's not like, let me do, look number 13 now for this shot.
Right.
I had like 2 looks maybe, or 3 tops, to really have something going on inside, or make believe that you had something going on inside. I believe in both I think there's something to be gotten from the method and also from a technique where you can make people think you're the king of England, even if you don't yourself believe it.
Right.
So, but to get that life going on inside, that took a while to get to that next level.
Right, but and
that's where he got his longevity, because
That's exactly right.
now he
Thank
can
you.
do that.
Yeah,
Right.
you can have some of that going on. And I forget sometimes. I get there and I just get kind of relaxed and I say the lines in a relaxed manner. I go, oh shit, I forgot my mantra. I got to have something interesting going on. Then I do it that way. Much better. Whatever adjustment you made, Ed, excellent. Do that again.
Right, okay. So
Relax is fine, but you want to have something going on.
You gotta have
Doesn't
something
have to
going
be,
on.
You don't have to be writhing in pain, but it's more interesting than the pot boiling over to see somebody try to keep the lid on that pot. That's interesting.
And do you credit that with when you said in the beginning you didn't know what you were doing, you went to some classes? Was there a specific technique or?
It was a guy, Roy London, I finally went to that kind of said, with one sentence, he said, you know what I think is the most interesting thing to watch, Ed? I went, what's that, Roy? He said, how a character deals with pain. I went, oh, look at the time, I got to go. Thanks a lot, buddy. I got out the door, I went, what a load of crap. Like I want to see every scene, oh, I'm in pain, and what a bunch of... Wait a minute. No, that's not what he said. He said how a character deals with pain.
Right.
Not a person writhing in pain, physical pain, emotional pain. What's going on with this guy? You want to know more, and then you learn more through good storytelling, like Vince Gilligan level storytelling. Right. And it's fascinating to watch. You get great actors like, Ray Seahorn in Better Call Saul, and, as I said, Merrill in anything, or Viola Davis in anything. Just look at anything that they're doing and go, how did they, I can come up with a few things, but how does someone with that skill level come up with that, the variety of different things that they do in the many movies they do? It's just amazing to me still that they do it. But Roy was right, how a character deals with pain, not just for drama, but for comedy.
Right.
Laurel and Hardy are carrying a piano up the stairs, they fall, and the piano falls on them. A piano! I think they're kind of heavy. And the pieces of piano and what have you, and you're laughing your ass off. Harold Lloyd's hanging from a clock. Could you imagine hanging from a clock where the hands are moving? It'd be terrifying, it'd be horrible.
Yeah, 4 stories up.
But 4 stories up, exactly. Yeah. But it's hysterically funny because you're laughing at how a character deals with that kind of pain, and insert your word, danger, pain, discomfort, emotional distress, conflict. But how a character deals with that is universally interesting to watch.
That's it. And so it starts on the page when you're talking about these great writers.
Yeah, and it's in this crazy book too. I wrote a book. Yeah. I do my hopeless.
Let's talk
pathetic
about
plug,
it.
But it's actually a fairly amusing book. It's called "To the Temple of Tranquility and Step on It," and it's kind of amusing. And that's you. That's a little gift I brought for you, Bobby.
Oh, thank you.
I'll make sure you get one too. I'll send one
All right, thanks.
Someone for you. I should have brought two. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry about it. And I'm honored that you're here and you're listening to all these actors that are great in everything. Ed Begley Jr. is great in everything.
You're very kind, Richard.
You're sort of like presenting that all you are is this sort of everyman, but it's just not the case. I mean, I've been a fan for decades, and you're pretty much different in every role.
Bless you. You're very kind, sir.
And there's a lot going on there, and I've learned a lot from you. I've learned a lot today, and everyone on the crew was so excited that you were coming today. So before I let this man off the hook, did anybody else have something they wanted to grab?
No, I just wanted, I mean, obviously, Ed, it's so great to see you, and
That's
I'm
Max,
a fan
our
of the
producer.
Applegates. So I just wanna know how that came
Meet the
about.
Applegates?
Yeah, Meet the Applegates.
I love that
My
show.
favorite
That's a
show.
very funny movie, very offbeat movie. Michael Lehman. He did Heathers, and he did a movie called Meet the Applegates. I just saw it again for the first.
Destruction of the rainforest, but it was a comedy.
That's right. It was the big environmental theme at the base, at the the core of the movie.
Yeah,
Thank you for mentioning that, buddy. It's good to see you again, by the
great
way.
to see you too.
Yeah, you saw him when he was a little PA. Now he's got his own logo on a hat, a little sideways, with his whole crew of guys that actually
love
know
it.
what they're doing. So, hey Joe, come over here. Joe, get over here.
Nice to
I'm
meet
Ed,
you
very
again,
nice.
Joe.
Is it okay? Is he okay on the couch there, or should he come here?
Yeah,
Okay.
cool.
All right. So this is a great story that he shared with us
I
yesterday.
want to hear this.
Yeah. So it was my first directing job. It was probably in 1997, somewhere around
Okay.
there. I was doing a spec commercial for the Braille Institute, and I had my crew. It was my first time ever directing anything. And we were at the Tree People off of Mulholland.
Yes.
Up there, right?
Yeah.
And so we're setting up all of our gear and we're getting ready to shoot. And we look up and it's you and Steve Martin. You guys are
On
walking.
bicycles?
No, you guys
Oh,
are
we
walking. You're walking.
Okay.
You're walking down the trail. And basically we saw you guys and we're like, oh my God, it's Ed Begley and fucking Steve Martin. Really? Like, this is what directing is all about, right? And then so, and you guys were so nice that you stopped and you talked to us. You're like, hey, what are you shooting? Like, and you basically, you talked to me for about 5 minutes before you guys went on your merry way. But I just want to say thank you so much because that really gave me, a feeling that I can really do this because you stopped and you talked to me. And that was, it was just an amazing moment. So thank you very much for doing that.
Thank you for
All right.
I love Steve Martin. Isn't he great? He's such a
Now,
wonderful man.
yeah, and it's been since 1997. Actually, I just got an article that Max just showed me. One of my shows that I direct is the top 10 shows of NBC, Deal or No Deal Island. So because of you and Stephen Martin stopping and talking to me, that just propelled me to want to continue to do what I was trying to do. So thank you so much.
Awesome, man.
You
It's a
made
great
my
story,
day, pal.
Joe.
That's
Thank you very
great.
much.
It's the little
Thank you
things.
very much. Absolutely, the
So
little
great
things.
to see you again.
Now I got to finish cutting the show. All right.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Amazing.
That's
So as
wonderful.
I sort of make sure I don't well up too much,
Yeah,
but this has been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Ed.
great. Talking with my buddy,
And,
nothing better.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Great to see you, Ed.
Great to see you.
Yeah, man. I'll watch you in the show.
Fantastic.
I'll watch this one.
I want to see it too.
So again, coming from an undisclosed location, high in the Hollywoodland Hills area of Los Angeles, California, this has been another episode of the Revenge of the Party Nerds podcast. Thank you, Ed Begley Jr.
Thank you, Richard. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Ed.